Tonight, a former music instructor awaits sentencing after pleading guilty to the sexual exploitation of a teen. Who's clearing the way?
Wouldn't do any good if your house was on fire and they couldn't get to the fire hydrant, right? So it's just kind of common logic.
The rules that do and don't exist for a task that can be critical when seconds count. Plus, when robots and art meet.
When we saw a wood robot's teeth, then we say, oh, this looks like Monet. Okay, we were maybe a little bit too excited.
The story behind this colorful collision of worlds out of the brilliant minds at the University of Waterloo. Good evening. A former music instructor and one of the founders of the popular group KW Glee has admitted to the sexual exploitation of a teen. Layman pleaded guilty in court and is now awaiting his sentence, which is expected to include time in prison. And a warning, this story does contain some of the details that were presented in court. Let's go to CTV's Krista Simpson now for more of those details tonight. Krista.
Tony, court heard that Layman was behind some very successful music ventures in the region. The judge receiving letters from people who talked about the confidence he inspired in young people through those programs. Now, he's no longer affiliated with those businesses he founded. He was charged in 2024 and has now admitted to sexually exploiting a teen girl. A co-founder of KW Glee and Waterloo's Renaissance School of the Arts, Layman is now facing time in prison. In December, Layman pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation. In an agreed statement of facts, court heard over a period of several months, in 2008 and 2009, he had sex with a teen about 40 times, sometimes picking her up from school on her lunch break for sex and dropping her off again afterwards. The girl was 16 and 17 years old at the time. He was 20 years older. In a victim impact statement, she described the far-reaching effects of being used by someone she looked up to as a father figure. He betrayed that trust and used it to manipulate and exploit me for his own gratification, she told court. Both the Crown and defense agree that Layman should face a sentence that involves time in prison. The Crown is asking for 5 years, saying the degree of physical interference is significant, rooted in a power imbalance created through grooming and manipulation. The defense is asking for 2 to 3 years, noting that Layman is a first-time offender. They also say he has lost all of the music-based businesses he had built. His lawyer saying he will never think of transgressing again. When given an opportunity to address the court, Layman said he was truly sorry for what he did, adding, "I am ashamed and I apologize to her for the harm I have caused." 3 other charges of sexual assault were withdrawn at the request of the Crown following Layman's plea. Layman will return to court on March 4th to learn his sentence. Tony.
Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson joining us. And time for our first check on the forecast as we head over to Ashley Bacon in studio. Good to see you again on this Monday, a Monday where we're talking about this trend of milder temperatures getting even better.
Tony, I think you said it best in the 5 o'clock show. We dressed for spring today.
We did.
We're in our Masters greens, getting ready to, get the swing on for our links in a few months. But you know what, Tony, you're right. It is a lot nicer out today and will continue to be so for the rest of the week. If we take a look behind me at our radar, you can see there's not a lot of precipitation right now. Some cloud cover, and we will see a little bit of precipitation over the next 12 hours, but nothing that's going to stick around. Right now, we're looking at a -8 temperature, southeast winds at only 11 kilometers an hour, so not too windy out there. And the great news is, even with the wind chill, it's only feeling closer to -13 compared to those frigid temperatures we were feeling last week. And the great news is, Tony, the warmer weather, above seasonal weather, is looking like it's going to stick around at least for a few days.
News to look forward to. We'll get the story from you soon. Thank you, Ash. Well, the weather is getting milder, but we have certainly had a record-breaking winter for snow. And tonight, the call is out for everyone to do their part to make sure that fire hydrants aren't buried under it. Let's go to CTV's Colton Weens for more on this. And Colton, I guess the question is, who is responsible for clearing space around those fire hydrants in our communities?
Well, Tony, the answer is a little unclear, but it's ultimately everyone's job to keep the hydrants accessible. Some cities like Cambridge have a bylaw that doesn't allow residents to pile snow in a way that obstructs a hydrant, but other communities, including Kitchener and Waterloo, don't have any bylaw regarding snow and fire hydrants. Instead, they ask residents to dig them out as more of a social responsibility, saying a clear path to a hydrant can make a major difference for fire crews in an emergency. It's been a record-breaking winter in southwestern Ontario, and with all of the snow, many residents and businesses with a fire hydrant on their property are doing some extra shoveling.
Just whenever we shovel the driveway.
Scott Murphy has been clearing the snow from this hydrant on his Waterloo property for over 20 years. It's the only one on his street, so he feels a sense of responsibility for those around him.
The right thing to do, looks after our neighbors, makes it so it protects our house, makes sure the fire department can get it when they need it. Wouldn't do any good if your house is on fire and they couldn't get to the fire hydrant, right? So it's just kind of common logic.
Last week, the city of Waterloo posted online saying with over 2,600 fire hydrants in the community, keeping them clear of snow can make all the difference in an emergency. Firefighters need quick access to hydrants, and if it's buried under snow, it can slow down response times when every second counts when lives are at risk. Similar to last year, the city says it's planning to have crews out in the next few weeks to do some proactive clearing of the hydrants. According to the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs, there are few rules concerning who should clear hydrants, but it is generally considered the responsibility of the property owner. The Ontario Fire Code does require hydrants to be clear of snow, but it doesn't say who's responsible to do it. Fire officials say they prefer to have a clearance of at least 1 meter around the hydrant and encourage residents to make sure nearby hydrants are accessible at all times. It should also be noted all privately owned fire hydrants must be cleared and maintained by property owners. Tony.
All right, good to know. Colton, thanks so much. CTV's Colton Weens live with us. Well, travel is slowly getting back to normal in parts of southwestern Ontario, where they were hammered by powerful weekend winter storms that left many drivers stranded. CTV's Brent Lale brings us more on the response and the aftermath.
Chaos on the roads in Lambton County.
This was probably the worst I've ever faced.
A massive snow event with high winds hit west of London, closing the 402 and stranding motorists.
I ended up getting stuck there for just a little over 9 hours.
Several roads from London to Sarnia were impassable because of the drifting snow.
Snowbanks are about 4 to 5 feet tall on each side of the highway. So drivers, if you are traveling with the heavy winds and blowing snow, you may run into visibility issues, whiteout conditions.
There were more than 150 911 calls in the queue. Lambton County set up a command center.
From our end, they're kind of looking where they are, right? If there's people trapped in anywhere. And so it's a good way to do it with the drone. You can fly over and see what's going on there.
Andrew Lundy says he was stuck for more than 6 hours.
They said, yeah, if you've got a decent amount of gas, just keep your engine running, and I cleared away the tailpipe so I wasn't going to die of carbon monoxide. And I just waited.
He remained stranded until 5 Samaritans helped free him when daylight arrived, but he still couldn't get home.
There are no roads that will take me home that are open. There's a few that aren't officially closed but are impassable. There are cars that are stopped and they're saying, like, don't come down here.
OPP, fire, and local residents with snowmobiles and four-wheel drive trucks helped motorists to area community centers. Warwick Township Mayor Todd Case told CTV News by phone this is the biggest snowstorm since the infamous Snowmageddon in 2010.
This is nothing like that was. We were literally here stranded for 3 or 4 days, but this doesn't even hold a candle to that. But we have roads within our community that are shut down in both directions, so there's really not a path for anybody to go anywhere.
Lundy says this may have been worse than 16 years ago.
I called the OPP and I told the guy what was going on. He said he's been here 25 years and he has never seen it worse, including 2010.
Motorists were trapped for hours and tow companies were busy with reports of more than 300 cars in the ditch.
It was quite the experience, that's for sure.
Sunday morning, nearly 2 days later, the entire highway was reopened. Brent Lale, CTV News.
And it was also a stressful weekend for some Via Rail passengers along the Ottawa-Montreal-Toronto corridor. Several trains were canceled, leaving travelers stuck, rebooking, and waiting for answers. CTV's Josh Morano has that story.
Stacey O'Neill found out Monday morning that her trip from Fallowfield Station to Montreal later that day was canceled.
I was a little bit panicked that I was going to miss my flight in Montreal. Didn't have a lot of wiggle room there.
She was rebooked on an earlier train, but that one got delayed too.
I got an email saying it was going to be late and by an hour.
So she hopped in an Uber to Ottawa, a larger station, to make sure she could get to Montreal.
I just wasn't sure if my connection would be on time, so I came here.
Similar scenes played out across Ontario and Quebec after Via Rail canceled 8 trains Monday between Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto, citing operational constraints.
I was panicking because the whole train was canceled, and we don't know the exact reason, but they're having problems with one of the lines.
In a statement provided to CTV News, the Crown Corporation states severe weather expected this week, combined with increased ridership around the Family Day weekend, necessitates temporarily reducing service to keep additional trains in reserve to limit the risk of prolonged delays.
Via is a great service, and I really appreciate being there. I think people are much more understanding when they have advance warning and they aren't caught by surprise. So I wish them well, and I hope they can fix the problems.
Via Rail says all passengers affected by the cancellations have either been rebooked or refunded at no cost. And for O'Neill, that means her trip to Portugal is still on.
There's no problems. I'm going to make my connection. It's all good. No price difference in the ticket, so no refund, but no hiccups in my travel either, so that's good.
That report from CTV's Josh Morano in Ottawa. And some Ontario First Nations leaders have issued travel advisories telling band members not to travel to the U.S. The extraordinary measures are in response to reports of racial profiling in the U.S. that have led to Native Americans being arrested and questioned. CTV's Scott Miller reports.
Native Americans from Minnesota have been printing off their tribal identification so they have documentation if they are stopped by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers.
Folks are being racially targeted and profiled right now for having dark hair, dark skin.
That fear has spread to Canada, where leaders with the Saugeen First Nation and Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation, both in Bruce County, have put out United States travel advisories for their members.
Because Indigenous peoples have, I think, a certain color to their skin. They're being targeted by the United States of America, Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Chief Conrad Ritchie with the Saugeen First Nation had this to say: ICE has targeted tribal citizens, so it's important to know your rights and have proper documentation. Leaders with both Saugeen and Nawash are urging band members to carry their birth certificate, green card, passport, and even a special letter confirming 50% American Indian blood quantum if they do travel south.
We do have members that are making inquiries to our band office about these blood quantum letters, which are a requirement of the United States for people to live and work there.
While Keshig Martin says she's unaware of any of their band members being stopped by ICE, it has been a daily occurrence in places like Minnesota, say First Nations members there.
We were the first peoples here, and it's just crazy that our people are getting picked up, and thrown in a car and brought out to some federal holding place. That's sad.
Keshig Martin says Nawash's U.S. travel advisory will remain in effect indefinitely.
I don't think we could have imagined this a few years ago or several years ago. It's putting more fear into our people.
In Bruce County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Well, not a good situation in Cuba with power outages, food shortages, and now Air Canada announcing that they'll be suspending all flights to the island for the foreseeable future because of a scarcity in aviation fuel. Canada's also issued a heightened travel warning. CTV's Heather Wright reports on the airline's contingency plans and what you need to know if you are holding tickets.
Beginning Tuesday, jet fuel will no longer be available to international airlines in Cuba, the latest sign of the devastating impact the U.S. fuel blockade is having on the Caribbean nation.
We came to Cuba knowing what to expect. There's some things you'll have every day, some things you won't. I mean, that's a norm for here.
But what has been the norm is deteriorating quickly with widespread shortages of food, fuel, and medicine. Air Canada announced today it is suspending services to Cuba, focusing instead on repatriating the roughly 3,000 passengers who are still there. WestJet and Air Transat have not suspended service but have issued travel notices, allowing for free changes or cancellations. This all comes as Cuba experiences the worst economic crisis in nearly 70 years.
We don't get to see how it truly affects the Cuban life on the island.
For decades, Venezuela had been the primary source of oil for Cuba, a source that was cut off when the United States captured Venezuela's president in January. Then U.S. President Donald Trump said he would impose tariffs on any country that sells or provides oil to Cuba, further depleting its sources of fuel. Some experts say Cuba is on the brink.
By the typical definition of what we think of as a failed state, Cuba is sort of on the cusp of it.
The government has closed hotels in Veradero and is consolidating tourists to save on resources. Fuel sales are being limited while school and business hours have also been reduced. Cuba has said it is open to negotiating with the United States to end this oil blockade. Meanwhile, the government is warning its citizens to prepare for hard times beyond what they are experiencing now. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
I'm Karis Mapp at Waterloo's donation clinic as the Canadian Blood Services puts out a plea to potential donors. Donations are down in the area and across the country, mostly due to the severe winter weather we've been experiencing this year. That story is just ahead.
Above seasonal temperatures expected for tomorrow, but what will the rest of the week shape up to be like? I'll have those details with your full weather forecasts after this. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Also tonight, a call to action for those who need life-saving blood donations. Canadian Blood Services urging people to donate blood and plasma as soon as they can because they've been seeing a dip in donations across Canada, including right here in Waterloo region. Let's go live now to CTV's Karis Mapp, who's in Waterloo at the region's only donation clinic. So Karis, first of all, let's discuss why donations have dropped off.
Well, Tony, officials I spoke with from Canadian Blood Services blame it on the weather we've been having so far this year. Storms have prevented people from being able to actually get to their appointments, and others say they just don't want to book and leave their homes during this cold temperature.
Today is my 5th time.
It's probably only about 97.
Whether it's your first or 100th time, Canadian Blood Services is encouraging everyone to donate blood and plasma as soon as they can.
We're just wanting to ensure that we can keep up with the demand that the hospitals are needing.
Donations are down everywhere.
In the next 2 weeks in Kitchener, Waterloo alone, we have over 500 appointments open and available to book into. So that's a potential for over 500 units of blood to be collected, and they're sitting vacant.
The winter weather playing a large role in people canceling their appointments or not wanting to book and leave their house at a time when the need is greater than ever.
When there's icy road conditions, there are more accidents and car crashes and things that would cause the hospitals to need more blood for emergent cases as well.
Some people say they were simply unaware of the process.
I didn't know anything about this growing up or when I was younger, and it never entered my mind to think about it.
Others started showing up because of a personal connection.
A long time ago when my brother was born, he needed blood transfusions. My mom can't donate, but my dad has always donated. And I used to go with him as a high school student.
I have a brother-in-law that's had a lot of blood transfusions. So do it for people like that.
Whatever the reason, organizers say people's generosity could help save a life.
You're helping your community, you're giving back, and you're also doing something for yourself, something that makes you feel good.
Today I'm here donating blood for the first time, and Canadian Blood Services say they need more people to do the same. So they've launched a campaign with an incentive they also hope will be appealing. The Give and Get Away initiative lets donors enter for a chance to win 2 round-trip tickets to any Air Canada scheduled destination.
If you donate one time, you can enter once. If you donate twice in that time period, you can enter twice. If you add a stem cell registry sign up in there, you get a bonus entry.
Regular donors say it's worth any reservations people may have when thinking about the bigger picture.
There's nothing hard about it. It doesn't hurt you. All you're doing is helping people. it's a win-win-win-win-win, right?
The Waterloo Donation Clinic is on Bridgeport Road and is open Monday to Saturday. Anyone interested in giving can call 1-888-2-DONATE, head to blood.ca, or download the Give Blood app. Tony.
All right, sounds good. Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp joining us live from Canadian Blood Services in Waterloo. And let's take a live look outside now toward Midtown KW from our tower camera. You can almost catch a hint of the afterglow on the horizon there at 6:24 p.m. It's not as dark as we normally see it on the tower camera at this time of night. So Ashley's back in just a couple of moments to update us on some more good news as far as our conditions go in just a few minutes. Also ahead, we will step into a Waterloo salon where they're creating beautiful moments on this week's edition of Made Right Here. And next, a Muskoka connection to Canada's second medal at the Winter Games. Welcome back as we take a look at our long-range forecast now. The next 7 days, the first part of it sounded pretty good to me, at least as far as the temperatures go.
Well, just put it this way, for the first time in a while, no alerts to tell you about off the top. So, I mean, that just puts in perspective, we have had a really rough winter.
Also did not freeze my face off today when I got out for a walk over lunch hour.
Well, the good news is, Tony, tomorrow is going to be even better.
Love it.
We're expecting above seasonal temperatures for tomorrow, but for now, let's take a look back outside. You can see it is a relatively clear night right now. Now, we are expecting a bit of flurry activity through the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning, but the good news is we're not expecting a lot of that precipitation to stick around for Kitchener-Waterloo anyway. So we are seeing clearer skies this evening and cooling temperatures, but not as cold as we've had over the last few weeks. Looking at our futurecast, there is a lot of cloud cover that is currently over the area. That's going to continue to push out as a system starts to move through. Up near Wyerton, in that southern Georgian Bay area, Tobermory, you're going to see around 2 to 4 centimeters of snow through the overnight hours, but here in Kitchener-Waterloo, we aren't looking at any sort of accumulation. That's going to mix down to some mixture of rain and sleet by early hours of tomorrow morning, and that's because temperatures are rising. So we're expecting a bit of a messy start to the day, but very early, around 5, 6 in the morning. But by, normal hours tomorrow, by the time everyone is out and about, things should have started to clear up. Right now across the country, we're sitting at a very comfortable 8 degrees in Victoria. Edmonton is at 2. In the Prairie Provinces, Saskatoon is sitting at -3, -4 in Winnipeg. Over in our nation's capital, the sun is already set there, -12. It is not that cold compared to the -20s we were seeing last week. And in St. John's, Newfoundland, -1. Not bad. Here in Kitchener-Waterloo, we're sitting at -10, but it is starting to feel a little cooler with the wind chill, around -16. Again, comparing to last week, over the weekend, very, very comfortable indeed. -12 is the expected overnight low, so we're not dipping down too far, but tomorrow is really where the good news starts to take place. We're expecting a daytime high of 0. Now, that is above seasonal. Seasonal right now is around -3, so very comfortable conditions. It does say risk of drizzle. That's early in the morning as that flurry activity starts to convert as temperatures rise, but we are expecting a relatively calm day for that. Sun setting now at 5:44 p.m. So we are getting a little bit more daylight. As Tony mentioned, you can just almost see it over the horizon there in that live shot. Back in 2014, -24 was the overnight low. So by comparison, -12 tonight will feel like a walk in the park. 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo region. Temperatures cooling to -2 for your Wednesday. -4 is the coldest day on this board, though, Tony. -4 for your Thursday, and then the mixture of sun and cloud to start your weekend with a high of 1 expected on Saturday. Lanton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions there. You're going to see 3 degrees tomorrow. Basically a mixture of sun and cloud through the rest of your work week with highs around that 1 to 2 range. So very nice conditions there. In southern Georgian Bay, you're expecting to see a few more centimeters of snow tomorrow. -1 is your daytime high. -2 for Wednesday, cloudy on your Thursday, but again by the weekend a mixture of sun and cloud and a high of just -1 for Friday. So overall, not too bad. Okay, let's take you back to this region, sent in from Chris, taken in the blizzard that struck Goderich on Friday last week. Between the snow and waves, it's hard to tell really what you're looking at, but it is a shoreline at sunset, and it was just a beautiful capture. Thank you, Chris, for sending this in from Friday.
Beautiful color in that shot as well. Do we have a laugh, or not a laugh track? Do we have an applause track, by the way? Because that forecast deserves an applause track.
You know, look, Environment Canada helped me with that one, Tony, so I can't take all the credit, but I am certainly glad to see it. I'm
being told we don't have that sound effect anyway.
Oh, well, there you go.
Anyway, you can imagine it was there. Thanks, Ash. All right, now there are two. A second bronze medal for Canada, captured today by Parry Sound native Megan Oldham with an impressive rebound in free ski slopestyle. It's a redemption Olympics of sorts for the 23-year-old. CTV's Scott Hurst has the highlights from day 3 of the Olympics.
This thing is really heavy. I think it's beautiful.
Canada's Megan Oldham is already loving life as an Olympic medalist. The 24-year-old from Parry Sound, Ontario, north of Toronto, soared to new heights on the biggest stage. With skis raised and medals around their necks, the top 3 making sure they got a podium selfie to freeze the moment in time.
Oh, I feel incredible. It still feels a bit like a dream.
Bronze in women's ski slopestyle and redemption for finishing just off the podium in big air at the Beijing Games 4 years ago. An Olympic accomplishment Oldham will never forget.
I'm so proud of myself for putting a run down and being able to get up on the podium and bring home a bronze for Canada.
Quebec's Naomi Ernest, who finished 7th in the ski slopestyle final, says it's an inspiration to watch her teammate on the podium.
Definitely seeing her success here really inspires me, and I'm so happy for her, and hopefully I can do the same one day or maybe in 4 years.
Expect to see both women compete in the big air competition as well later in the week. It was a close call for Quebec City's Beatrice Lamarche in the women's 1,000-meter speed skating final. The 27-year-old in her first Olympics was in the bronze medal position watching the final pair of skaters. Ultimately, the second-generation Olympian was bumped down to 5th, less than 1 second off the podium. Canada's medal count is now 2 as the first full week of competition is well underway. Bronze for Valérie Malte in long track speed skating, and now bronze for Megan Oldham in ski slopestyle. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And coming up, a game within the games. Collector's items that are setting off some serious competition. The operator of Eddie Bauer's Canadian stores says it has filed for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. and will soon make a similar move in Canada. Eddie Bauer LLC says the 220 stores across both countries will remain open, but they will begin liquidation sales as the court processes get underway and as the business seeks a potential buyer. If they can't find someone to buy it, Eddie Bauer will begin a wind down of its Canadian and U.S. operations. The company has 31 stores in Canada. About half of them are in Ontario, and some have started marking down inventory by at least 60%. And it appears the end is near for an iconic stop, I should say, for music lovers in downtown Toronto. Steve's Music runs 5 stores, and they've announced they're restructuring and will close some locations. CTV's Beth McDonnell reports.
Customers try out guitars at Steve's Music Store as the song on this long-time Queen Street West business fades out.
I didn't know Steve was closing down, so the moment I heard that, I said, I guess I'll come here one last time and see what all they've got. Every musician I've spoken to over here has some story of Steve's. People's family have been coming here for years. Clearly, this is a Toronto icon.
Many have been showing up at the shop after hearing about the liquidation sale over the weekend at all 5 of the company's locations in Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto.
I came here for my first guitar, and I come here for repairs as well. And now, if the store closes down, it's a shame.
A manager in Montreal tells CTV News Toronto, except for the flagship location in Montreal, all stores will shutter.
I'm bittersweet about it. I'm sad. It's been a staple of music for my whole life. My uncle used to work here, and he's worked here since he was I think a teenager, just retired. If I can support them in some way, I will. And I mean, look at that beauty. Come on now.
A letter to friends and customers posted on the company's website says Steve's Music Store opened in Toronto in the 1970s, alongside the rise of the city's music community and punk movement, adding it is with a heavy heart they've taken the difficult decision to undertake a formal restructuring, citing significant disruption across the sector and financial pressure.
Back in the day, this used to be a place I shopped all the time, and it's sad to see him go.
Jeff Jones has lived most of his life in Toronto and downtown. He's a musician who plays with some of Canada's biggest names in music.
Is just a part of this whole thing. The venues across the street, Steve's Music here, the TV station just down the block. It was part of a whole scene. But things are different now.
The company says it hopes to emerge leaner and more focused and looks forward to serving customers during the sale. Staff in Montreal say the Queen West store will close March 1st. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Lots of nostalgia there. Okay. Looking at our top stories now, CTV's Alexandra Hollick joining us in studio tonight with all of the details. Alexandra, we begin with the latest on a former music instructor's guilty plea to sexual exploitation.
That's right, Tony. Stephen Layman, who was also the founder of the popular group KW Glee, had admitted to sexually exploiting a teenage girl back in 2008 and 2009. He was charged in 2024 and pleaded guilty back in December. Both the Crown and the defense say he should face time in prison, but the length of his sentence will be decided in March. Canadian Blood Services says there's been a dip in donations across the country, including right here in Waterloo Region, because of the harsh winter conditions. The organization says storms and extremely cold temperatures are keeping people from booking appointments at a time when the need is greater than ever. They're urging everyone to donate blood and plasma as soon as they can.
And our digital team is working on several stories as well. We've got one up there, Alexandra, about a taxi scam in Waterloo.
That's right, Tony. And police say at least 3 people have fallen victim to it. All of the thefts have happened between 4:30 and 5:30 p.m. on February 6th near University Avenue West and Seagram Drive, and involved people in a vehicle that looked like a taxi, claiming they couldn't pay their fare. Waterloo Regional Police are urging anyone who may have been a victim to come forward. You can find out more on the story by heading to our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca, or over on our CTV News app. Tony.
All right, Alexandra Hollick reporting with our top stories. Alexandra, thank you. Local, luxurious, and leaving a lasting impression. A beauty studio in Waterloo is redefining self-care one client at a time. We step inside Afterglow Beauty Studio on this week's edition of Made Right Here.
Hi, I'm Amy Kirschke. I'm the owner of Afterglow Beauty Studio, and I've been servicing Waterloo Region with beauty services since 2017. Currently at Afterglow Beauty Studio, we offer lash services such as lash extensions, lash lifts and tints, brow laminations, full body waxing and spray tanning, as well as recently being partnered with a nail tech in our studio. So the service we're going to be seeing today is that of lash extensions. Most of my clients come in for lash extensions to increase the fullness or add length to their natural lashes. The process of lash extensions is beginning with a lash cleanse. You always want to start with a clean slate, removing any excess oils. After that, we dry your lashes and then apply lashes individually to each of your natural lashes, there being 80 to 120 per eye. So typically there are about 3 different styles of lash extensions with few variations in between to tweak based on a client's preference. Those being classics, the most natural, typically a little bit more than a mascara look. Hybrid, which adds a little bit more thickness. It's kind of a combination between classic and volume, and then volume being the most dramatic, adding the most thickness to a client's lash line. So the reason why a lot of my clients have continued to stay loyal to me over the years has been my attention to detail and my love for the craft. I really value keeping the integrity of your natural lashes, and that comes first over everything. I have clients who have been coming to me for 7 years and have taken a break once and their natural lashes still look great. Seeing a client's reaction to the after result of their lash extensions is honestly probably the most exciting part of the process. Seeing that wow factor in someone's face is just, I don't know, I guess it just fills me with so much happiness seeing that my work makes someone else so happy.
And just ahead, when innovation meets illumination, the University of Waterloo's latest robotics work that dabbles into the world of art. Spencer Turcotte will tell us what this is all about next. Robots and the arts don't often collide, but at the University of Waterloo, researchers are translating music into colored light through the motion of robots. CTV's Spencer Turcotte finds out how.
Turning them on and they will connect to.
They may not look like it, but this row of robots is capable of creating artistic masterpieces. Once their lights turn on, the lights in the room go off and they're ready to work.
The two arts that we are interested in connecting are really painting, visual arts, and music, performing arts.
University of Waterloo researchers have developed a system in which a swarm of robots listen to music and translate it into moving light trails.
These emotions are going to be mapped onto the canvas to places and times where they should release paint.
The robots move within a fixed area on the floor, or kind of like a canvas, and their movements are in response to the music they hear, including tempo and chord progression.
We work with the multi-robot systems, so that naturally, right, asks the question: how do we coordinate them? How we make them not running into each other?
They developed an algorithm to control up to 12 robots, but it can be scaled to handle any number. Technology was then created to extract and analyze musical features that express emotion.
Related to sadness, like the dark blue and this kind of violet.
Beyond the visual impact, the work explores how an artist may be able to interact with robots while they're painting.
The big picture is to get a sense from the artists, from the painters, on whether this could be an aid to paint.
Now the researchers plan to host an art exhibition where you may be able to get one of these unique robot-created paintings.
When we saw what the robots did, then we said, oh, this looks like Monet. Okay, we were maybe a little bit too excited.
But the excitement is warranted when you consider the unlikely pairing of engineering and the arts. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Waterloo.
All right, time now to check in once again with Ashley.
Well, the day might start with some flurries and cooler temperatures, but we're expecting above seasonal by midday. I'll have those details coming up. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory and Extracted at 8. Memory of a Killer at 9, and lastly, The Rookie at 10.
Tonight, a major Canadian airline suspends flights to a Caribbean hotspot.
When we arrived, we had no hot water.
Where and why travel is grounded and what you need to know. We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News, and watch on Crave.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
We're going to check in with Alexandra Hollick one more time to find out what our team is working on for the Late Show tonight. Alexandra.
Tony, we're keeping a close eye on the Wilmot Township Council meeting tonight, where they're expected to lock in their budget for 2026 with a potential 9% tax increase. We're also watching Waterloo City Council tonight, where Mayor Dorothy McCabe is formally voicing her opposition to the consolidation of Ontario's conservation authorities in the form of a motion. We'll have those details and more local news tonight at 11:30. Tony.
Alexandra, thank you for that. And as far as our weather goes, Ash, on the rise those temperatures are.
Yes, and when we wake up tomorrow morning, it might not feel like it just yet, but everybody have a little bit of patience, okay? 6 a.m., light flurries, -8 conditions, but as those temperatures start to rise, that might convert over to some freezing drizzle, but mainly cloudy skies. But by around 1 o'clock, we're expected to hit that 0-degree mark.
It's going to feel unbelievable after the couple of months that we've had. Finally for us tonight, it's not an official Olympic sport, but it's nearly as intense as anything you might see on the field of play. We're actually talking about pin trading. It's a serious business at the Milan Winter Games, drawing long lines, serious collectors, even some broken hearts.
And as CTV's Garrett Barry got a lesson in the art of a deal today.
An Olympic morning in Milan means, of course, competition. To these victors, the spoils, an exclusive city pin. To many others, broken hearts if they arrived too late for the prize.
Yes, we are trying this, but it's not going great for now. We don't have any pins for now.
The quest for Milan's perfect pin will take you all over the city. Each day here, there's a scavenger hunt of sorts where the city's tourism information board posts a new location in the morning, and pin collectors congregate here to try to get a chance at a limited edition giveaway. This morning in Milan's Navigli district, people waited hours for the small souvenir.
Well, they're giving them out and it's kind of a hunt for them, so it makes it fun.
Because I live in Milan, quindi I want these pins, all pins.
I love pins. I don't know, I love putting them on my clothes and it's an easy accessory.
Some have been doing this for decades. Meet Thomas Rondi, a pin collector for 14 Olympic Games running, with the hardware to show.
It's really interesting. People have so much fun at it, and it's not really official yet for the Olympics, and we're in a club called the Olympin, and we're trying to literally get it part of the Olympics officially.
You'll find him anywhere in this city, always open for pin trading business. Even CTV anchor Heather Butts got in on the action.
This is the Paralympic Winter Games from Vancouver 2010.
The deal done.
We'll do that trade, and then you trade, and then you have fun, and you say thank you very much.
But there's more business to do. Rondi says each Olympic city starts a little cold, but towards the end of the games, it's a full-on frenzy to get your favorite pin while you can. Garrett Barry, CTV News in Milan.
Well, Heather and Garrett found a really cool story over there.
Very cool.
But we've got a few things in our hands because we checked the desk drawers here at the station and we found these beauties. Take a look. These are mostly from the Vancouver 2010 games. Of course, CTV was the host broadcaster. We believe that one is also from the 1988 Calgary games, the one with the 2 ribbons. CTV carried those games as well. These are beautiful
They're
souvenirs.
incredible.
Aren't they?
And I can understand the excitement about, receiving them from each cities that are represented at the games over in Italy at the moment. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, and it's serious business.
It is serious business.
As we found out. I mean, it's the world of collecting is more than coins and stamps. Pins. And do you remember buttons, too?
I do, yes. Buttons were a big thing for sure.
I almost forgot about buttons.
I did, but pins are classic.
They are, and these are beautiful, beautiful pins from some of the past games.
Absolutely.
All right, before we go tonight, we have an important announcement to make, and I should mention to everybody, we don't do this all the time, because we do get a lot of requests, but this one was exceptional, and I thought we should grant this request.
I couldn't agree more.
So a very, very happy birthday to Josephine Shaganaw. Josephine's granddaughter, Tara, called on the weekend and asked if we would wish Josephine a happy 105th birthday on Saturday. Josephine watches us every night, and we want to say we love it and we appreciate you, and the happiest of birthdays to us. To you, Josephine, from us.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Josephine, and hopefully it's the best year yet.
105 years young. So, we thought we're going to grant this request.
Oh, yeah.
Loyal,
how can we not?
Loyal, dedicated viewer, and that is a milestone.
Incredible.
Well, that's our time for tonight. Alexandra Hollick is back here with your next local news at 11:30 after the CTV National News at 11. Have a good evening.